You'll hear the staff presentation and recommendation, then public comments in favor or opposition will be heard. If you signed a card, we will call you up individually to speak. If you signed up and wish not to speak, you may take a pass. After those that have signed up to speak, there will be an opportunity for anyone else to speak.
Okay, my name is Stephanie Weisenbach. I'm the program coordinator for 1000 Friends of Iowa, located at 3850 Merlehaven Road, Suite 605 in Des Moines. Well, our organization has been aware of the Polk County Comprehensive Plan and that the zoning ordinance would likely eventually be established. The big surprise was to find out that so much land in unincorporated Polk County would be rezoned in one single decision that is before you tonight. One thing that we'd like to be able to do more often is review a zoning ordinance to see how it conforms to various smart growth principles and really analyze things like the affordable housing, conservation design. But due to the extensive rezoning of land and the short notice and lack of public input, most of my comments are going to be geared towards that aspect of this decision. Such a blanketed rezoning that you're considering really removes citizens from this case-by-case process that would normally happen as rezoning petitions would come into your office and neighboring property owners to be notified, and that's just much more of an open format to decide this. Additionally, I attended the open house last Monday night, and we've given some recommendations to the county in the past that the open house format is not the most effective way to provide citizens with thorough information because a presentation is not given as a whole, and it also doesn't allow citizens to ask questions that then other citizens could learn the answer to. And so there's really potential for a lot more information that could be provided through another format. We did pay the $16.50 to get the full copy of the zoning district and the zoning ordinance, and I spent some time so that I could read through 200 pages before the meeting 4 days in advance, and so I've done that. But unless it's your job, which it is mine, it's really tough to keep on top of such a big decision being made so soon. And your actual zoning ordinance does allow for you to go through the type of notification that I've recommended. And your zoning ordinance, even as the one that you're passing tonight, it does allow the county to give a notice of the hearing of a map amendments by mail at least 15 days in advance before the date of the hearing, and also to residents and whatnot. So I guess I'd like to just express that I hope that you would consider taking a step back and going ahead to do that. So I think that considering some of the limited time that people have had to study this, there are several questions that would be relevant to answer tonight. A lot of land is being rezoned from agriculture to low density residential and other districts, and some of the language, as Brett explained, was about how the areas will be served, ultimate development of this area, I'm referring to the agricultural transition, involved extension of urban sewer services and likely annexation, kind of referring to sanitary sewer and water. And essentially also low-density residential, that district, says full development of this site will most likely not occur until public water and public sewer is available. And so although the wording kind of alludes to the fact that this land would be protected until those services are available, I'm sure that you're all aware of the rapid advancement of the availability of sewer and water into unincorporated areas that has become possible through agencies like the Wastewater Reclamation Authority. And so I would question whether property owners who would be rezoned to low-density residential or some other district would all of a sudden have water and sewer at their doorstep, and therefore, through some other kind of policy, have a requirement to hook up to that. And I think that's a really valid question to be answered about the services extended to be planned to be extended into this area. In addition to that, I would wonder, exactly what policies and plans will affect these properties next. Once the zoning ordinance passes, if it passes the way that it's written tonight, what do these property owners expect to happen to their property in the next year, the next 2 years? And what type of development or possibly just plans for development will occur as a result of this policy? Will development happen faster because this ordinance has been passed? Will annexation happen faster because this ordinance has been passed? What's the intention of the connection between this zoning ordinance and new development in Polk County, both through annexation and unincorporated developments. So considering all of those questions that I hope we hear some answers to, I wanted to make some more recommendations. Regarding the uses, the permitted uses that are provided in this table, it's a little bit confusing to understand the changes to various uses because these tables only spell out what is in the new zoning ordinance, and I really feel like it'd be appropriate to highlight or underline what the changes would be, and to also have a table of a chart that shows side by side, similar to how you have your zoning maps, that shows this is what it is currently and this is what it is proposed, or else it's very difficult to know, how a property would be affected, what uses would be allowed under their new designation, or what uses wouldn't be allowed. And potentially, if they're not being rezoned, maybe the uses are changing for their zoning classifications. And so there are all those types of questions that maybe the answers are very simple, but it just seems like the answers are not provided. In addition, following the notifications that you've outlined as possible in your zoning ordinance, and also to include more information in your public notice about the land that's being rezoned, including the township information, the street information, the boundaries of the property, so that if people read the paper and see a public notice, they know that that public notice is pertaining to their property. In addition to that, at a minimum, leave the currently zoned agricultural land as agricultural land, at least if the owner prefers it to be designated that way. That seems like a pretty basic principle of citizen involvement and property rights for those owners and how they want their property to be designated. And so, and also, if you go ahead and rezone all of this land at once, which I don't know how much land it is. I've asked how many acres of land is being rezoned through this change, and there's no answer to that. But I just wanted to let you know that if property owners end up realizing that their zoning classification has been changed, that they have the right to come back and try to rezone their property to agricultural again. And if that happens, that could be a very difficult process administratively and would be really the symptom of an incredibly flawed planning process. Thanks for considering my comments.